You are not an accident. Before the first star burned in the cosmos, before the oceans knew their depths, before time itself began to count its seconds, I already knew you. I already loved you. I already prepared everything you would need to fulfill what only you can accomplish on this earth. And right now, in this very moment, I'm about to reveal something that will change everything you thought you knew about your life. There is a document written in heaven with your name on it. Not a metaphor, not poetry. A real eternal declaration of why you exist. Every pain you have felt, every door that closed, every time you asked yourself if your life had meaning, all of it was leading you to this moment. Because today, I'm opening the archives of eternity to show you what I wrote about you before you took your first breath. The reason you clicked on this video was not chance, it was appointment. You have been searching for confirmation that your existence matters, that you are not just drifting through days without direction, that somewhere in the vastness of this universe, there is a specific role only you can play. And I am here to tell you, yes, there is. Your reason to exist was written in heaven, sealed with my blood, and activated the moment you were born. Do you know what it feels like to be created with intention? Not by accident, not as an afterthought, but as a deliberate, carefully crafted masterpiece designed for a mission that eternity itself depends on. Most people live their entire lives never discovering this truth. They wake up, go through motions, chase things that do not satisfy, and lie down at night wondering if any of it mattered. But you are not most people. Because right now I am pulling back the curtain between heaven and earth to show you something that will shatter every doubt you have ever had about your worth, your calling, and your destiny. Heaven wrote your reason to exist before the foundation of the world, and today you will finally understand what that means. Let me ask you something that will create a gap in your mind that only this message can fill. What if everything you thought was a mistake in your life was actually part of the design? What if every detour, every disappointment, every moment you felt invisible was precisely orchestrated to bring you to the exact position where you could fulfill what was written about you in eternity? Stay with me, because by the end of this message you will not only know your reason to exist, you will feel it burning in your chest like a fire that cannot be extinguished. I have walked with those who felt forgotten. I have heard the cries of people who believed they were born without purpose. I have seen the tears of those who looked in the mirror and saw only failure. And every single time, I whispered the same truth. You were never without purpose. You were never a mistake. You were planned, prepared, and positioned for something so significant that hell itself trembles when you discover it. The proof is not just in ancient texts. It is in the way your heart leaps when you hear these words. It is in the way something inside you right now is saying, yes, this is for me. That is not coincidence, that is confirmation. That is heaven responding to your search. Here is what I am going to reveal in this message. First, I will show you the exact moment your reason to exist was written in heaven and what that document contains. Second, I will expose the lies that have been hiding your purpose from you and how to break free from them today. Third, I will give you the 3 keys that unlock the fulfillment of everything I designed you to do. And finally, I will speak directly to the specific season you are in right now and tell you what comes next. This is not theory. This is activation. This is the moment your life stops being a question and becomes a declaration. Before we continue, I need you to do something. If you are hearing my voice right now and you know this message was meant for you, I want you to subscribe to this channel. Not because I need numbers, but because this is how you tell me, Lord, I am here. I subscribed because I love you and I want to hear you. Write that in the comments right now. Let it be your declaration. And also tell me, what country and city are you watching from? I want to see how far my voice is reaching, how many hearts are awakening at this exact moment. Do it now before we go any further. And here is what I promise you. If you stay with me until the very end of this message, I'm going to whisper a word directly into your heart. A word that is yours and yours alone. And when you write it in the comments, I will release blessings over your life that have been waiting in heaven for this exact moment. This is not manipulation. This is covenant. This is how heaven and earth connect. So do not leave early. Do not let distraction pull you away. Because what I am about to tell you next will change everything. The scroll that holds your name. Long before your mother knew you were coming, long before your father's lineage was even traced, there was a moment in eternity when I sat down and wrote. Not just words, not just ideas, but a detailed, specific, intimate description of you. Your personality, your gifts, your struggles, your victories, the people you would meet, the lives you would touch, the legacy you would leave, I wrote it all. And I sealed it with a promise that nothing in hell or on earth could stop it from coming to pass if you would only believe. This is not folklore. This is Ephesians 1, verse 4. I chose you before the foundation of the world. Before anything existed, you existed in my mind, and what I thought about you became the blueprint for everything you are meant to become. But here is what most people miss. The scroll that holds your name is not hidden in some unreachable place. It is available. It is accessible. And it is activated the moment you stop trying to create your own purpose and start discovering mine. You see, the enemy does not want you to know this, because the moment you realize you were written into existence with precision and intention, everything changes. You stop begging for approval. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop wondering if you matter, because you know, deep in the core of your being, that you were crafted by the hand of divinity for a mission that only you can complete. Think about this. Before you were born, I already knew the number of breaths you would take. I already saw the moments you would cry and the moments you would triumph. I already placed inside you the exact combination of passion, pain, and power that would prepare you for what I am calling you to do. Nothing about you is random. Not your temperament, not your background, not even your wounds. Everything was designed to position you for purpose, and the moment you understand that, you stop living defensively and start living offensively. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start declaring, what is this preparing me for? I have seen people waste decades because they believed the lie that purpose is something you find through trial and error. No. Purpose is something you remember. It is already written. You do not create it. You uncover it. You do not invent it. You align with it. And the moment you align, resources flow, relationships shift, opportunities appear, favor surrounds you, not because you became better, but because you became obedient to what was always true. Right now, I want you to do something. If this is resonating with you, if something inside you is waking up, leave a like on this video. Not for the algorithm, for your own soul. Let it be a marker that says, this was the moment I started believing I was created on purpose. And then I want you to answer this question in the comments. What is one thing you have always felt you were meant to do, but have been afraid to pursue? Write it down, because when you declare it, you activate it. And share this message with someone who has been feeling lost, someone who needs to hear that their existence was never a mistake. And write this in the comments as your declaration. I trust you. When heaven's plan collides with earth's chaos, you have lived long enough to know that life does not unfold in straight lines. There are detours, delays, disruptions, moments when everything you thought was solid suddenly crumbles, and in those moments the voice of doubt whispers, see, you were wrong, there is no plan, there is no purpose. You are just another person trying to survive in a world that does not care. But I need you to hear me now more than ever. Those moments of chaos are not evidence that the plan failed. They are evidence that the plan is working. Because the scroll written in heaven does not just describe your victories, it describes your valleys, and every valley has a purpose. Joseph understood this. Sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused, thrown into prison, forgotten by those he helped. Every single setback looked like the end of his story. But it was not the end. It was the setup. Because years later, standing in a palace he never imagined, he would say to the very brothers who betrayed him, "You meant it for evil, but I meant it for good." That was not him being poetic. That was him recognizing that the scroll written about his life included the pit, the prison, and the palace. All of it was necessary, all of it was intentional, and all of it led to the saving of nations. You are in your Joseph season right now. You do not see it yet, but I do. The betrayal you experienced was not random, it was repositioning. The loss you suffered was not punishment, it was preparation. The door that closed was not rejection, it was redirection. And every moment you have spent feeling like you were wasting time has actually been building something inside you that cannot be built any other way. Strength, wisdom, character, resilience, compassion. You cannot lead people out of darkness if you have never walked through it yourself. You cannot speak hope into broken hearts if your own heart was never shattered and rebuilt by my hands. Here is what I need you to understand. The chaos you are experiencing right now is not outside the plan, it is part of the plan. I did not write your purpose in heaven and then abandon you to figure it out alone on earth. No. I am with you in every moment, orchestrating even the things that look like opposition, turning them into opportunities, transforming what was meant to destroy you into the very thing that propels you into destiny. Romans 8 verse 28 is not a cliché, it is a promise. All things work together for good to those who love me, to those who are called according to my purpose. All things. Not just the good things, not just the easy things. All things. So when you look at your life right now and see mess, I see masterpiece. When you see confusion, I see construction. When you see delay, I see development, because I am not done with you. The scroll is still being fulfilled. Every chapter you thought was wasted is actually essential to the ending I have already written. And that ending is not just survival, it is flourishing beyond anything you have dared to imagine. Let me ask you, what part of your story have you labeled as failure that I am about to reveal as foundation? Think about it. Write it in the comments. Because the moment you stop resenting your past and start recognizing its purpose, everything shifts. And declare this, your will, not mine. The 3 keys that unlock what was written. Knowing your purpose is one thing, walking in it is another. And this is where most people get stuck. They hear about destiny, they feel the fire, they get excited, and then nothing changes. Why? Because they are waiting for the sky to open and a booming voice to give them step-by-step instructions. But that is not how I work. I already gave you the instructions. They are written in the scroll. Now, I'm giving you the 3 keys to unlock it. The first key is surrender. Not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of control. You have been trying to force doors open that I closed for your protection. You have been clinging to relationships, jobs, and identities that were only meant to be seasons, not lifetimes. And as long as you hold on to what I am asking you to release, you cannot receive what I am trying to give you. Surrender is not giving up. It is letting go, so your hands are free to hold what heaven is handing you. Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6 say it clearly. Trust in me with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge me, and I will direct your paths. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to control the outcome. Surrender the pen, let me write the story. Because my version is better than anything you could ever create on your own. The second key is obedience. Small, immediate, uncomfortable obedience. You have been waiting for the big revelation, the grand moment, the obvious sign. But I am speaking to you in the small things. That nudge to send a message, that whisper to forgive someone, that prompting to step into something you feel unqualified for. Those are not random thoughts, they are divine instructions. And every time you ignore them, you delay the next chapter. Obedience is not about being perfect. It is about being willing. It is saying yes before you understand why. It is moving before you see the full picture. Because faith is not knowing the outcome, it is trusting the one who does. And every act of obedience, no matter how small, unlocks the next level of what was written about you in heaven. The third key is declaration. Your words have power, not because you are powerful, but because I am powerful and I live inside you. When you speak my promises over your life, you are not hoping they come true. You are activating what is already true in the spiritual realm and pulling it into the physical realm. This is why the enemy works so hard to keep you silent, to keep you speaking defeat, lack, fear, and impossibility. Because he knows that the moment you start declaring what I said about you, his plans crumble. Joel 3 verse 10 says, "Let the weak say, I am strong. Not I hope to be strong someday, not I will try to be strong, but I am strong." That is declaration. That is faith speaking before the evidence appears. So stop agreeing with the lies. Stop repeating the diagnosis. Stop confessing the lack. Start declaring the scroll. Start speaking the destiny. Start calling things that are not as though they already are, because in heaven they already are. These 3 keys, surrender, obedience, declaration, are not suggestions, they are requirements. And the moment you apply them, you will watch doors open that have been locked for years. You will see favor flow that makes no logical sense. You will step into opportunities that leave people asking, how did that happen? And you will know, this is what happens when heaven's plan collides with earthly obedience. If this message is hitting you right now, do not just consume it, activate it. Like this video if you are ready to apply these keys. And answer this in the comments. Which of the 3 keys do you need to activate today? Be honest. And then declare, I surrender to you. Now, I want to speak to something deeper, something that goes beyond information and touches the very core of your provision, your overflow, your ability to be a vessel of blessing. Because the scroll written about you in heaven does not just contain your mission, it contains your provision. Every resource you will ever need has already been allocated. Every door of opportunity has already been prepared. But here is the truth that shifts everything. The moment you align your giving with my heart, you activate the release of what has been stored up for you. This is not about obligation. This is about partnership. This is about understanding that when you sow into the kingdom, you are not losing something. You are multiplying something. Because I see every act of generosity done in faith. And I make sure it returns to you pressed down, shaken together, running over. If it is possible, only if it is possible, contribute with love through the thanks button. It does not matter the amount. What matters is the heart with which it is given. Because it is written in 2 Corinthians 9 verse 7, I love a cheerful giver. And in Luke 6 verse 38, give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over will be put into your lap. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, and none of them will I leave unfruitful. I see in secret and I reward openly. Those who contribute with any amount and a sincere heart, do not forget to leave your name and your city along with your contribution, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on the channel The Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered by divine blessings released in prayer. This is covenant. This is connection. This is the activation of heavenly principles in earthly reality. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. The identity you forgot you carried. You have spent so much of your life trying to figure out who you are. Chasing titles, seeking validation, looking for someone to tell you that you are enough. But the truth is, you have never not been enough. The problem is not that you lack identity. The problem is that you forgot the identity I gave you before you ever felt the need to earn one. You are not becoming someone. You already are someone. The scroll does not say maybe you will be valuable if you accomplish enough. It says, you are my beloved. You are chosen. You are set apart. You are anointed. You are equipped. You are sent. That is not future tense, that is present reality. And the moment you stop trying to prove it and start living from it, everything changes. The enemy's greatest weapon is not making you sin, it is making you forget. Forget who you are. Forget whose you are. Forget what was spoken over you before time began. Because when you forget your identity, you settle for substitutes. You chase applause instead of assignment. You seek comfort instead of calling. You live for the approval of people who do not even know the version of you that heaven sees. And you wake up years later, exhausted, empty, wondering why nothing satisfies. It is because you have been living someone else's life. You have been trying to fit into a mold that was never designed for you. And no matter how hard you try, you will never feel at peace living a story that was not written for you. But today, that ends. Today, you remember, you are not an accident. You are not a backup plan. You are not leftovers from creation. You are the intentional, deliberate, specific response to a need that only you can meet. There are people waiting for you to step into your identity so they can step into theirs. There are conversations that will never happen if you do not show up. There are miracles that will never manifest if you do not believe. Your existence is tied to the destiny of others. You are not just living for yourself, you are living for the generations that will rise, because you chose to walk in what was written about you. 1 Peter 2 verse 9 is not a metaphor, it is a declaration. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, my own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of me, who called you out of darkness into my marvelous light. Read that again. Chosen, royal, holy, special. That is who you are. Not who you hope to become, who you already are. And the moment you start living from that place, the world around you shifts. Opportunities align, relationships change, resources appear. Not because you worked harder, but because you finally started operating in the identity that was yours all along. So I'm asking you right now, who did I say you are? Not who your past said you were. Not who your circumstances suggest you are. Who did I say you are in the scroll written in heaven? Write it down. Speak it out loud. Let it become the lens through which you see every decision, every relationship, every opportunity. Because when you know who you are, you stop asking for permission to walk in purpose. You just walk. If this is awakening something in you, share this video. Send it to someone who has forgotten who they are, and write this in the comments. I am yours. When the waiting becomes the weapon. There is a season in every life that feels like suspension. You have heard the promise. You have seen the vision. You know what was written, but nothing is moving. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. And the voice of doubt gets louder. Maybe you heard wrong, maybe it was just wishful thinking, maybe the scroll was for someone else. But let me tell you something that will change how you see this season. The waiting is not wasted time. The waiting is warfare. And every day you choose to believe when nothing looks like it is changing, you are winning a battle in the unseen realm that is setting up your breakthrough in the seen realm. David knew this, anointed as king as a teenager, but spent years running from Saul, hiding in caves, leading a ragtag group of misfits, wondering if the prophet's words were real. But those years were not delay, they were development. Because you cannot lead a nation if you have never led yourself through disappointment. You cannot steward a kingdom if you have never learned to worship in a cave. The waiting was not punishment, it was preparation. And every moment he spent trusting me when nothing made sense was building the kind of faith that would make him a man after my own heart. You are in your David season. You have the anointing, but not yet the throne. You have the promise, but not yet the proof, and it feels unbearable. But here is what I need you to see. I am not withholding the promise because you are not ready. I am withholding it because the world is not ready. There are things I am arranging, people I am positioning, systems I am dismantling, enemies I am removing. And when the moment comes, it will not be a slow climb. It will be a sudden shift. One day, you will be in obscurity. The next, you will be in influence. And everyone will ask, how did that happen? And you will know it happened in the waiting. It happened when I chose to trust when nothing looked trustworthy. It happened when I kept declaring when nothing was manifesting. It happened when I refused to let delay become denial. James 1 verses 2 through 4 say, "Count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." The waiting is not the absence of the promise, it is the perfecting of the promise in you. And the moment you see it that way, you stop resenting the process and start embracing it. Because you know this is not delay, this is development. This is not denial, this is design. And when the fullness comes, you will not just receive the promise, you will be ready to steward it. So stop counting the days. Stop comparing your timeline to someone else's. Stop wondering if you missed your moment. You have not missed anything. You are right on schedule, heaven's schedule. And that is the only one that matters. Keep believing, keep declaring, keep obeying in the small things, because the breakthrough is closer than you think. And when it comes, you will look back on this season and say, that was not wasted time. That was the weapon I did not know I was building. What are you waiting for right now that feels like it is never going to happen? Write it in the comments, not to complain, to declare. Because when you speak it in faith, you shift it from the realm of hope into the realm of expectation. And declare this, I will wait on you, the moment. Everything aligns. There is coming a day, and it is closer than you think, when everything you have been believing for suddenly clicks into place, not gradually, not slowly, but suddenly. The door that has been closed for years swings open. The relationship that felt impossible gets restored. The provision that seemed out of reach shows up in abundance. The calling that you have been preparing for in secret gets called to the stage. And in that moment, you will understand none of it was random, none of it was luck. All of it was orchestrated, all of it was alignment, all of it was the scroll being fulfilled in real time. This is what I do. I take broken pieces and create masterpieces. I take detours and turn them into destinies. I take pain and transform it into power. I take the very things the enemy meant to destroy you with and use them as the foundation for your greatest testimony. And when it all comes together, it will be undeniable, not just to you, but to everyone watching. They will see the shift, they will see the favor, they will see the blessing, and they will know that is not human effort, that is divine intervention. That is not coincidence, that is covenant. That is not luck, that is the hand of the Almighty moving on behalf of someone who refused to give up. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 says, I have made everything beautiful in its time, not before its time, not after its time, in its time. And that time is coming. You have been in the season of planting. You have been in the season of pruning. You have been in the season of waiting. But the season of reaping is approaching. And when it comes, it will not just be a trickle, it will be a flood. Not just enough, more than enough. Not just for you, for everyone connected to you. Because that is how I work. I do not just bless individuals, I bless communities. I do not just restore one life, I use that one life to restore many. Your breakthrough is not just about you, it is about everyone who will be impacted by your story. So get ready, prepare your heart, clean out the bitterness, release the offense, let go of the disappointment, because you cannot carry old weights into new levels. The alignment is coming, and it requires a lightness of spirit, a readiness of faith, a willingness to run when I say run. This is not the time to hold back. This is not the time to play small. This is not the time to let fear keep you in familiar discomfort. This is the time to believe bigger, trust deeper, and step bolder than you ever have before. Because the scroll written in heaven is not small, your destiny is not average, and the impact you are about to make is not forgettable. Share this message if you feel the shift coming, and write this declaration in the comments, I am ready. The legacy that outlives you. You were not created to simply exist and then disappear. You were created to leave an imprint, a legacy, a testimony that echoes long after your last breath. The scroll written about you does not end when your life on earth ends. It extends into eternity through the lives you touched, the people you inspired, the faith you modeled, the love you gave. And this is what breaks the chains of insignificance, knowing that your life matters not just in the moment, but for generations. Think about the people who shaped your faith, the ones who prayed for you when you did not know how to pray for yourself, the ones who spoke life when you were surrounded by death, the ones who believed in you when you did not believe in yourself. Their lives did not end when they died. Their legacy continued in you. And now, you are someone else's legacy. There are people watching you who do not even know it yet, children who will grow up and say, I want faith like theirs, strangers who will encounter your story and decide to keep going, generations who will benefit from decisions you make today that you will never see the full impact of. That is legacy. That is eternity. That is the scroll being fulfilled beyond your lifetime. Hebrews 11 verse 4 says of Abel, he being dead still speaks. That is the power of a life lived on purpose. It does not die when the body dies. It keeps speaking. It keeps influencing. It keeps pointing people toward me. And that is what I am building in you. Not just success, not just blessing, but legacy. A life so rooted in truth, so anchored in faith, so overflowing with love that it leaves a mark that cannot be erased. And one day when people tell the story of their own breakthrough, your name will be in it. Not because you were perfect, but because you were faithful. Not because you never failed, but because you never quit. So live with that in mind. Every choice you make today is planting a seed for someone else's tomorrow. Every act of obedience is creating a path for someone else to follow. Every declaration of faith is giving someone else permission to believe. You are not just living for yourself, you are living for the legacy that will outlive you. And that is the greatest privilege of all, to be used by eternity to shape eternity. What legacy do you want to leave? Who do you want to impact? Write it in the comments and declare this: use me for your glory. The voice that never stops calling. No matter how far you have wandered, no matter how long you have been silent, no matter how many times you have ignored the nudge, my voice has never stopped calling your name. I have been in every moment of doubt, whispering, "You are mine." I have been in every season of pain, reminding you, "I am here." I have been in every crossroads, guiding you, "This is the way, walk in it." You have never been alone. You have never been forgotten. And the reason you are hearing this message right now is because I am still calling, still pursuing, still believing in the version of you that I wrote in the scroll before you ever took a breath. The scroll is not conditional. It is not based on your performance. It is not dependent on your perfection. It is sealed by my promise, activated by your faith, and fulfilled by my faithfulness. And even when you have stumbled, even when you have questioned, even when you have walked away, I have never torn up the scroll. I have never rewritten your destiny. I have simply waited for you to come back and remember what was always true. You were created for this. You were called for this. You were chosen for this. And nothing, not failure, not fear, not the enemy, not even your own doubt, can change what I have already declared. So here is what I am asking you to do. Stop running. Stop hiding. Stop pretending that you can outrun your purpose. It is time to come home, not to religion, not to ritual, but to relationship, to the one who wrote your reason to exist and has been waiting to walk it out with you. This is your moment. This is your season. This is the day you stop living in the shadow of what could have been and step into the light of what still can be. Because the scroll is not expired, the promise is not cancelled, the calling is not revoked. It is all still there, waiting for you to believe it again. And when you do, watch what happens. Watch how doors open. Watch how provision flows. Watch how clarity comes. Watch how peace settles. Watch how joy returns. Not because you earned it, but because you aligned with it. Not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. And that is all I have ever needed from you. Willingness. A heart that says, "Yes, Lord, use me. Guide me. Speak through me. I am ready to walk in what you wrote." The voice that is calling you right now will never stop. But the question is, will you finally answer? Write this in the comments as your response. "Here I am, Lord." You have made it to the end, and that is not an accident. Most people would have left by now. Most would have let distraction pull them away. But you stayed, and that tells me something about you. You are serious. You are hungry. You are ready. And I do not waste readiness. I honor it. I multiply it. I turn it into momentum that shifts everything. So right now I want you to do something that seals what you have heard today. I want you to declare in the comments, not as a wish, not as a hope, but as a conviction that comes from the deepest place in your spirit. These words, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Write it, speak it, let it be your seal of faith. Because when you declare it, you activate it. And when you activate it, heaven moves. This message is not the end of our conversation. It is the beginning. There is more I want to show you, more I want to reveal, more I want to release over your life. So do not walk away from this channel. This is where you will continue to hear my voice. This is where clarity will come. This is where breakthrough will be announced. Subscribe if you have not already. Turn on notifications. Come back daily. Because I am not done speaking. I am not done guiding. I am not done pouring out wisdom, direction, encouragement, and power over those who are willing to listen. Make this part of your spiritual rhythm, not out of obligation, but out of hunger. Not because you have to, but because you want to. Because deep down, you know, this is where heaven meets earth in your life. And if this message touched you, if something inside you shifted, if hope returned, if faith rose, if clarity came, do not keep it to yourself. Share it. Send it to the one who has been feeling lost, the one who has been questioning their worth, the one who has been wondering if their life has meaning. Because your obedience to share could be the very thing that saves someone from giving up. Your willingness to spread this message could be the moment someone else hears their name being called from heaven. Do not underestimate the power of a shared word. It is not just information, it is activation. It is not just content, it is calling. And you could be the vessel that delivers it. I see you, I know you. I have never stopped believing in you. Even when you stopped believing in yourself, I kept the scroll safe. I kept the promise alive. I kept the plan intact. And now, it is time for you to walk in it. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, today, this moment. Rise up. Step forward. Speak out. The world is waiting for the version of you that was written in heaven, and I am ready to walk with you every step of the way. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And as long as you keep listening for my voice, you will always know exactly where to go next. Before you leave, write this one more time in the comments. Loud, bold, full of faith. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Let it echo, let it resonate, let it become the anthem of this new chapter. Because you are not the same person who started this video. You are awakened, you are activated, you are aligned, and nothing will ever be the same. I love you, I am with you, and I will never stop calling your name.